Hi everyone, it's Cheryl. Excuse my voice, I've got a cold. Um, yeah, anyway, I've got a really quick, short little tutorial to share with you today, and hopefully it will come in helpful to some people. It's probably not going to be for everybody, but you never know. Anyway, last night, get out of here. Go away. No, you are driving me crazy. Go away. Last night, I was doing a project, and I needed a spring for it. And so my brother was here, and I was talking to him, and I said, I need a spring. I said, but I don't have one the right size. And he's like, well, why don't you make one? And I'm like, thought for a second, because, like, I don't know where my brain was, but anyway, it took me a minute, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I could use a wire and a pen and wrap, like, you know, like everyone does. And he's like, no, he goes, get a bolt. And my brother's a mechanic, so, you know, this kind of stuff just comes to him. And I'm like, what? And he goes, get a bolt. And I'm like, okay. And then I happened to think about it, that get down. Oh, I'm sorry, she's driving me crazy. Spring fever or something, I guess, with that cat. I don't know. Anyway, so I thought about it, and I thought, well, you know what? He's right. Bolts and screws, and the coolest thing, what I want to get a hold of is they make these threaded rods. You can get them at your hardware store. But they have grooves on them where they, like, screw into things, and they're spiraled, which is really neat. I couldn't find any bolts last night. It was late, and I didn't want to go out and look for any out in the shed or anything. So all I had last night was a wood screw. Okay, now no, this is it. You are leaving now. Stop. And all I had was a wood screw. So this is just a plain wood screw. You can get them just about anywhere. And this one is probably not quite 1/4 of an inch in diameter. Okay. But anyway, this is a really, really, really neat way to make a almost perfect little spring. And here's some of the ones I made last night. And as you can see, I think they're just like a spring. I mean, they are a spring. You've made your own spring. So even if you need a spring around the house, if you got the right size wire, you can squeeze in on them. They make a spring. So anyway, I thought I would share this with everyone today because a lot of us like to do steampunk. And I'm sure there are probably many other possibilities for using little springs in crafting projects. So, or like I said, if you just need to make a spring, he's a mechanic, and a lot of times when he doesn't have a spring, he'll grab the right gauge wire if he's got it laying around, and he'll make his own springs, and they work. So anyway, what you're going to need is a piece of wire. Now, I just grabbed this out of a spiral notebook. I'm not sure what gauge it is, but we're all familiar with notebook wire, so you know what I'm talking about. And he says that the rule is, and this is where the threaded rods would come in, because then you could, you know, they usually come in at least 12-inch lengths, and you could make, you know, as long of a spring as you wanted that way. You could even make a bracelet, you know. You could make a big spring and work it into a bracelet. So this would be kind of cool for jewelry making too. But the cool part is, you know, the longer thing you have, if you want a big spring. And the same with diameter. You know, if you have a much bigger, like if you have a 1/2-inch bolt, you can make a lot bigger spring. So your size of your spring is going to be determined on the length of whatever you're using and the diameter of whatever you're using. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Anyway, so the rule he says with this is that however long you want your spring to come out, he says add 1/4 inch, because he says that's, you know, depending on how long you're going, you would have to, or 3/4 of an inch, you would have to add to it, you know. But he says that on average in wrapping the wire, you will lose about 3/4 of an inch of your length of wire as you wrap to make your little spring. So I did not measure this, and I also would advise you to make it even a little bit longer than that, maybe even a 1/2 inch longer, because you do not want to start with your wire right at the end, because that is not going to work for you. Okay, so you'll see what I mean. Now I'm right-handed, so I'm holding the wood screw in my left hand. Okay, So the head of the wood screw is to my left. So if you're doing it this way, or if you're doing it the other way, just remember that how you want to start is you want your wire over the top of your screw, facing away from you. That way it's going to go on the threads of the screw just right. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to place it in the threads where you want it, and you want to bend it around. And I will show you this. I know this is hard to see because the wire is tiny, my wood screw is tiny, and anyway, you just want to get it around there and get it into one of those grooves of the thread. I'll try to hold this up so you can see what I've got going here. If you can see that. It doesn't have to be super tight, but you don't want it loose either. You're not going to get a nice consistent wrap. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to stay right here. And I know this is hard to see, but I will show you as I go. I am just wrapping my wire around my screw, letting my wire go down into my threads, so it gives me that nice spiral. You see what I've got going there? Okay. And depending on the size and the gauge of the wire you're using, and also the size of the screw or bolt you're using, it can be kind of hard to bend them. Well, kitty's howling. Okay, and see, I'm just showing you. See how it's going? It's doing that nice even, and this is the nice part. These are evenly spaced apart, and and I'm just showing you that I'm just wrapping it around those threads. And you kind of want to, like this wood screw has very shallow threads in it. If you were using something like a sheet metal screw, they've got much deeper threads in them. But this is what I had at the time, and it works. So anyway, I'm coming up to the end now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap it and leave it. Okay? See that? Isn't that neat? Okay, so I got to this point last night with my brother. Okay, and I told him, I said, I'm starting to pull it, and I'm like, I can't get this off, I can't get it off. Do I think? No, I do not. He's like, unscrew it. And I'm like, what? And he goes, unscrew it. He goes, just hold on to your wire, turn your screw, just like I'm doing here, and unscrew it. And if you squeeze too tight on your wire, you will have trouble getting it off. This wood screw also has a washer on it. So up at the top, it's a screw, and it's got a metal washer, and it's got a rubber washer on the bottom of that. Get out of here, crafting kitty. And by having that on there, when I'm trying to turn the screw, I'm also turning the washer. So you might want to take the washer off before you do this. If yours has a washer on it, these came this way. Because otherwise you're going to sit there and turn the screw head or whatever, and the washer's going to spin, and you're not going to get anywhere. You need to leave now. I've had enough. Goodbye. Anyway, it does work. There we go. I got a hold of the washer too, so I'm turning the whole thing. And there we have it. A just about perfectly made little metal spring. And like I said, these are great for steampunk. You can do jewelry with them. You could make one if you needed one in your house for something. Like I said, as long as you have the right gauge wire, the right size, the right diameter of screw, bolt, whatever you're using, you can make all the little springs you want. They're actually kind of fun once you get going. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with everyone. It's supposed to be a nice day here today. They're saying 77. Oh my gosh. I have waited so long for temperatures to get up that high. So I am going to enjoy it today. And I think today is our last nice day, and it's supposed to cool off into the 50s again, which I'm not looking forward to, but I'll take it over the snow and the cold that we've had, because it seemed like a really long winter with the up and down with the cold. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm hoping either tomorrow. Oh, is today Wednesday already? I don't even know what day it is. I know it's the last day of March. Yeah, so I don't know what the cat is doing out there, but they're driving me crazy today. I don't know if it's nice weather or what it is, but they are driving me crazy. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm hoping that we are going to get back to doing the box and miniatures yet this week. Tomorrow or the day after, I'm hoping. We're gonna gonna window, door frame, and floor, I believe we're gonna do. If everything gets worked out right. I've had such a problem with my plumbing and that water heater. It's crazy. But I need to get other stuff done too. So we're going to be going back to the box on that and working on that. Also got that little mini album I started for mini album week. Guess what? Due to the water problems, that didn't get done either. So I'm going to go back and I will be doing something with that. Let me put these little screws here in my hand or something so I have something to look at while I'm yakking away. And also have some really cool news. Gareth, earlier this year, had said something about maybe he and I could do some sort of collaboration this year. And yesterday he was, he had posted on Facebook some things he'd done with string art. And so I sent him a message and I said, hey, I said, you remember, you know, when you said maybe we could do one this year? I said, if you have time, because he's going to be a busy boy this year. Anyway, yeah, I asked him, I said, how would you like to do a collaboration on something with string at some point? So he got back to me and he's like, wow, that's great. And so in September, Gareth and I will be doing a collaboration on something with string where once each week we will do a challenge to each other to do something with string. So I'm really, really excited about that because that'll be my first collaboration or challenge or anything here on YouTube. So I am really, really, really excited about that. I'd like to welcome all of my new subbies to my channel. I've had quite a few of you lately. Almost to 200. Yay! And I'm really excited about that. Like I said, please excuse my voice. And one more thing, Josie G. I am mailing out your goodies for your birthday, your card, your tag, and some goodies to you. And I'm going to be doing that a little later today. I'm sorry, honey. It's not going to get there in time for your birthday. Yeah, I am really sorry about that. But it's going to get there, okay? All right. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.